So in the last part, we will basically talk about the treatment. So in the treatment is like this. First of all, whenever a patient of cataract will come, we will ask the history and we will do clinical examination. So I know that in the history the patient will tell you about like he is having the slow painless loss of vision, and he is having difficulty in the daytime or night time according to the type of cataract that you will know by yourself. Another thing that you will do slit lamp examination, and slit lamp examination you will find the opacities in the lens, so that is also okay. Now you once confirm that the patient is of cataract, then you will ask the patient that are you visually handicapped. So this visual patient is the visual handicapped or not, that the patient will tell, not the doctor will decide. So you will ask the patient that can you do your regular activities with your these eyes. I mean to say that you will ask the patient that if the patient is like the driver, then he can drive, or the patient is a teacher, then can he teach. So you will ask these type of things. So daily activities the patient can do or not. If the patient can do their daily activities, then the patient is not visually handicapped. Then the patient is not visually handicapped. Still there is a time that you can hold for the surgery. So at that time, if the patient is not visually handicapped, you can go for the glasses. But if the patient is visually handicapped, then he cannot do his daily activities, then you will rush for the surgery. Now in surgery we have different option. So very previously, when the cataract was actually diagnosed in the very previous years, then the first surgery which was actually known was intracapsular cataract extraction. Actually this surgery is not done nowadays, as in this surgery we remove the capsule as well as the lens matter. It means that, let us suppose, let me show you by the figure. Let us suppose this is a lens, and outside the lens there is a capsule. So basically in this surgery, in the intracapsular cataract extraction, we will remove the capsule and we will also remove the lens as well as cataract. So the patient will ultimately become aphakic. Aphakic means the patient is not having any kind of lens. So such type of surgery in which we remove the capsule as well as the cataract, then such a operation is known as intracapsular cataract extraction. Another surgery which are used nowadays, that is extracapsular cataract extraction with placement of intraocular lens. So what is this? What we will do is in this surgery? In this surgery, basically, only the cataract and the lens matter removed, but so only the cataract and the lens matter removed, but the capsule is left intact. So only removal of cataractus lens, only removal of cataractus lens, but we will not do anything to the capsule. Only there will be a slight cut in the anterior capsule so that we can insert a posterior chamber intraocular lens. So to actually insert the intraocular lens, we will do a capsulotomy in the anterior capsule only. The posterior capsule will remain intact, and intraocular lens is placed in the capsule. So this operation is somehow successful operation, and it is known as extracapsular cataract extraction. The third operation is phacoemulsification. Basically the phacoemulsification is a very best operation that is done nowadays, and we will talk about this. And there is another operation, that is a small incision cataract surgery. As the name suggests, the incision will be small. So we will talk about this also. Let's talk about the intracapsular cataract extraction. Usually not done nowadays, but in the exam you may get asked that what are the disadvantages of the intracapsular cataract extraction, why this operation is not done nowadays. So these things you have to know. These things you can be asked in your Viva exams, or you can be asked in your entrance exam. So let's learn this. So first of all thing, in the intracapsular cataract extraction, basically let's suppose this is the eyeball, and let us let us suppose this is eyeball, and this is the iris, and we have the ciliary zonules, and this is we have the lens. This is we have the lens. So let us suppose that this is a cataractous lens, and this is the outer capsule. What we will do in the intracapsular cataract extraction, we will basically give an incision, and we will, after giving the incision, we will actually remove the capsule, as well as you do not need to memorize all the steps. You should only know what are the benefits of, what are the drawbacks of the intracapsular cataract extraction. So you will ultimately remove the capsule as well as the cataract. So capsule plus cataract, both are removed. Now what will be the problem on the removal of the cataract as well as the capsule? See, actually what happens, once you remove the cataract as well as capsule, the patient will become aphakic. Or we can say the patient is not having lens in his eye. Now, to see any object, what power is needed? So to see any object or to form image at the retina, basically you need a power of almost 60 diopter. Now, actually, the 43 diopter power is given by the cornea. So 43 diopter power is given by cornea, and remaining 15 to 19 diopter is usually given by lens. Now the lens is not present. So if the lens is not present, then you will have to see the image. You need a power of, or to convert the image at retina, to actually convert any image at focus any image at retina, you need a power of 60 diopter. But you have now only the power of 43 diopter, that is of cornea, as the 15 to 19 diopter power of the lens has been removed from your eye, as the lens is removed. That's why you will have only now 43 diopter, and this 43 diopter is not sufficient to convert the image rays at the retina. So actually, if you will make the patient aphakic, the patient cannot see anything. So first thing was that the patient won't be able to focus light rays on retina with 43 diopter. So with only 43 diopter, that is with only power of cornea, you cannot able to focus the light ray. So you have to use basically the external glass. So you have to use the external glass in order to focus the light rays at the retina. So you can basically use the 10 to 15 diopter positive lens, glasses. So if let's suppose this is the eye of the person, and let's suppose these are this is the ciliary zonules, but the lens is not present. So you have to wear a glass, and this glass will have now the power of 10 to 15 diopter. So you have already power of 43 diopter, but the lens is not present. So you are using an external lens. The glass will act as a external lens. So of 10 to 15 diopter, so that you can focus the light rays on the retina. But actually what happens when the doctor started to give the patient an external glass of 10 to 15 diopter, then the patient should be happy, so that his sight are actually restored. But patient, in order to be happy, should be happy, but the patient became sad. So what was the reason that the patient became sad, though he wear the glasses of 10 to 15 diopter? So what was the problem? What was the problem of the glasses? See, actually +1 diopter means that this glass will actually converge the image convert the light rays, and this power will not only convert, they will actually see there are two type of lens. One is the convex lens and another is a concave lens. Convex lens means these are the plus glasses. These are the plus glasses, and these plus glasses which converge, they are converging glasses. They are the converging. It means they will actually they will actually converge the light rays. They will actually convert the light rays. So they are known as plus glasses. And the concave glasses are, these are the concave. So concave glasses are minus power, and this minus power will actually diverge the image, diverge the light rays. And one more thing, these plus glasses will actually magnify the size of object. So whatever object you will see, these plus glasses will magnify that size. And similarly, the diverging glasses will actually minify, or we can say reduce the size of object. So whatever object you want to see, the concave glasses will actually reduce the size of the object, and plus glasses will magnify the size of object. Now let's see that plus one diopter, how much percentage of magnification of the object will be there if you will use the at least power of one diopter. So it is said that that every diopter will lead to the magnification of 2%. It means, let us suppose you are wearing a glass of 10 diopter. It means that the image will magnify by 20%. And you know that when the doctor gave the patient of the ICCE, after the operation, the doctor gave the glasses of 15 diopter. So this 15 diopter has actually magnified the images by 30%. It means every image was appearing him to 30% enlarged. So due to this condition, the patient became sad that he is actually looking the objects. He can look objects, but he looks in such a way that that is not pleasant to him. So if he looks, any object will look 30 times bigger. So that is not pleasant, and that is why this operation was not so much successful, and that is why not done nowadays. And what happens if the person is having ICC operation in only one eye? Let us suppose if only in one eye there was intracapsular cataract extraction, then what happens? Your one eye will in your one eye there will be the power of 15 diopter, and the image that will magnify by 30%. The image size will magnify by 30%. And another eye, let's suppose the another eye is normal. So this is looking the real size of the image. So this eye is looking at the real size of the image. Now what happens that from one eye you are watching 30% bigger, and another eye you are watching the exact size. So due to the difference in the size of the images, usually what happens in normal person also, both the eye will not see exactly the similar size of the image, but up to the 5% difference, up to the difference of image size in different eye, up to 5% difference, the brain will fuse, and you will not see any difference with your two eyes. But in this person, one eye is having the real size and another eye is looking 30% bigger. So that much difference the brain cannot fuse. And in this condition, you will have the diplopia. Diplopia means double vision. Double vision means as your two eyes are seeing two things differently. That's why, and there is such a difference between the two eyes that the brain cannot fuse your images. And that's why you will now see that diplopia means there will be double vision. So you will have the vision like that. There is every image there will be one large image and one small image. So that kind of image will be present in the patient, and that is why this is a very big disadvantage in case of the intracapsular cataract extraction, and that is why this operation is not done nowadays. So I have said you what are the actually problems in the case of the intracapsular cataract extraction. The main problem was that there will be magnified images, and that magnification is too much. So 30% magnification is too much magnification. And another thing, there will be the diplopia. And yes, you will always have to wear the glasses in order to see. So that's why this operation is not done nowadays. Now we saw that in the intracapsular cataract extraction, the person will ultimately become aphakic, or we can say the person will have aphakia. Aphakia means absence of lens. Aphakia means absence of lens. Sometime in the exam, usually aphakia is asked in the short note. So you should know some points about aphakia. So aphakia means the absence of lens. It can occur by the birth. So aphakia can occur by birth. So in some patient there will be no lens by birth. So there can be congenital aphakia, and this is acquired aphakia, that after the operation you are having you are not having the lens. So normally, how to diagnose the aphakia? So basically, diagnosis depend upon like this, that in the normal person, when you see the pupil in the eye, the pupil looks basically the black in color. But in case of the aphakia, the pupil look jet black. So you can see in this picture that the normal pupil is having the black color, but this aphakia, in the aphakic person, the pupil will be looking jet black in color. And as there is a, I have said you that so these are the iris. Let's suppose these are the iris, and these are the ciliary zonules. There is a no lens. So whatever this chamber is known as posterior chamber. So as there is a no lens, that's why the posterior chamber looks very deep. So there will be deep posterior chamber, and as well as this iris also move backward, as there is a no any thing lies the back in the back of iris. That's why there will be increased anterior chamber also. So basically there will be deepening of the anterior chamber, deepening of anterior chamber. And usually the iris has no any support, as there is a lens is not behind the iris. That's why the iris moves or it shakes very violently, or excessively shaking of iris occur, and this is known as iridodonesis. So iridodonesis means excessively shaking of the iris. So iris will excessively shake. Why this will excessively shake? As the iris has no support, and this is known as iridodonesis. So the diagnosis of the aphakia is iridodonesis, deepening of the anterior chamber, jet black pupil. Now we have another operation, that is extracapsular cataract extraction with intraocular lens placement in the posterior chamber. So in this actually cataract, basically the cataract is only removed. So first a hole is, let's suppose this is a lens and this is a cataract. So first a hole is made in the anterior capsule. This the process is known as anterior capsulotomy, and now the cataract is removed, and the capsule is left in situ with the placement of the artificial lens. And and this is the artificial lens. This lens is basically the monofocal lens made up of polymethyl methacrylate, that is PMMA. Why this is made of polymethyl methacrylate? Because this material is inert material, will not do any kind of allergic reaction in the eye. That's why this material is used. And why it is called monofocal lens? As by this lens, if we place this lens, then what happens? Basically in the normal human lens, this lens, let's suppose this is the human lens, so it has a property to stretch, to constrict. So that's why it is multifocal lens. It can take the light rays from the near vision as well as distance vision. So it can show the image of the near as well as the distant. But this lens is not that flexible. So that's why this lens will only help you to see the distant object, will not help you to see the near objects. I mean it will be difficult for the near object to see with only this lens. That's why in this patient we will give them extra glasses, so that from these glasses they will be able to see the near objects also. So whenever they want to actually see the near objects, or when they want to study or anything, so in that time they should wear the glass. But to see the distant object there will be no problem in this lens. So as this lens can focus at only distant object points, not focus on the near points, that's why they are known as monofocal lens.